Davos this week wasn't just another global summit moment. It was a quiet turning point, one that exposed how power is changing in real time. Over 2 days, on the same stage in Switzerland, two world leaders delivered speeches less than 24 hours apart. And the contrast between them couldn't have been sharper. One speech outlined the future with clarity and confidence. The other revealed hesitation, retreat, and damage control. On Tuesday, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney addressed the World Economic Forum. Carney isn't a career politician. He's a former head of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, the only person to ever hold both roles. When he talks about global power, markets listen. His message was blunt: the post-World War II global order isn't fading, it's broken. Not evolving, not adjusting, broken. But Carney didn't stop at diagnosis. He explained why this moment matters. He argued that many nations have lived under the illusion that global cooperation always benefits everyone equally. In reality, integration can become dependence. Partnerships can turn into pressure. His most striking point was simple: if countries aren't shaping decisions together, they risk being shaped by others. Without naming anyone, Carney was clearly responding to rising pressure tactics, especially threats tied to territory, trade, and military leverage. He emphasized that middle power nations don't survive by standing alone. They survive by standing together. He pointed to Canada's recent actions: increased defense spending, expanded security partnerships, closer alignment with Europe, and a firm stance on sovereignty. When he openly supported Greenland and Denmark's right to self-determination, the message landed loudly. Global reaction was immediate. Analysts across Europe called it one of the most important speeches by a Western leader in years. Not because it was aggressive, but because it was honest. Then came Wednesday. Donald Trump stepped onto the same stage. At first, the tone was familiar, jokes mixed with warnings. But when he returned to the Greenland issue, the shift was obvious. For weeks, Trump had escalated, hinting at military action, threatening tariffs, pressuring allies, and framing Greenland as a strategic prize. But Europe didn't back down. Instead, countries unified. Denmark held firm. France and Germany supported it. NATO allies coordinated military exercises. The message was clear: intimidation wouldn't work. Standing in Davos, Trump faced reality. Escalation had failed, so he changed direction. He announced a framework for cooperation, not a deal, not ownership, just talks. He paused tariff threats. He ruled out military action entirely. Suddenly, the language was cautious. Vague, careful. That wasn't strength. That was retreat. Behind the scenes, the situation was simple. Invading Greenland would have triggered a crisis with NATO. Tariffs would have hurt U.S. markets. Walking away would have looked weak. So Trump chose a face-saving exit, repackaging existing cooperation as a new win. European leaders saw it clearly. Denmark made it known that sovereignty was non-negotiable. Cooperation, yes. Control, no. This moment matters because it revealed something deeper. For decades, U.S. power worked because allies believed the system, while imperfect, was stable. But when threats replace trust, alliances adapt. They coordinate. They resist. That's exactly what Carney predicted. When pressure replaces partnership, countries stop relying on goodwill and start building safeguards. Europe did that, and it worked. This isn't the end of American influence, but it is the end of automatic compliance. Markets noticed. Investors reacted. Uncertainty increased. Confidence weakened. That's the real cost of volatility, not headlines, but hesitation. The Greenland crisis may be paused, but the lesson remains. Power today isn't about who can threaten louder. It's about who can build coalitions that hold. At Davos, the world saw two visions back to back. One rooted in pressure and dominance.